Women Warriors Network was created to inspire women who would class themselves as ordinary. The reality is these women are extraordinary in business and in life. So a huge warm welcome to Sarah. I mean, we've not met in person yet, but we absolutely will do soon. So Sarah Newman was a .com millionaire and Ireland's only female dragon on the hit TV series Dragons Den. She grew a business of booking hotel reservations online from nothing to 100 million and employing 95 people, selling it for a speculated 50 million with long-term contracts, Ryanair, Aer Lingus and BMI. So Sarah certainly has a story, and if anyone has the power of resilience, Sarah certainly does. So welcome, Sarah. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you and to everyone. Hi.
It's lovely to have you on board, Sarah. So you were the first woman investor on Dragons Den in Ireland. So why do you think you were asked to become a dragon?
And I suppose that I was probably the first high-profile self-made woman in Ireland. So I was, you know, I was on the papers, as they say, an awful lot of the time about the success of the growth of needahotel.com and the subsequent sale. And so Larry Bass, the producer of Dragons Den in Ireland, needed 4 boys and 1 girl. And so I suppose that made it was easier just picking 1 girl. I got selected, and I was really honored because I thought, gosh, why me? Probably because I can be a bit of a stroppy cow. That might have been one of the reasons. And I suppose it was my, building a business from a 1-bedroom apartment to, with secondhand furniture and pens that I used to nick from all the hotels around the world that I used to stay in, and building a really fantastic team over the years and obviously growing in an extraordinary way.
So how did Need a Hotel come about and grow into a multi-million-pound business? Great name, by the way.
Thank you. Well, I grew up in England and I moved to Ireland in 1994, obviously because of a man. And I got married, and I had worked for the world's biggest wholesale tour operator in London before that. And my job in Gulliver's travel agency was to buy all the hotel rooms in London and Paris every day for the wholesale travel market, which was about 1,000 rooms a night in each city. So when I got married by the age of 25 and moved to Ireland, I decided that I wanted to try working for myself. So I asked Gulliver's, would they be my supplier, 20,000 hotel rooms around the world, from a cheapest 2-star to a top deluxe hotel. And they said they would, but they laughed at me because most of their markets were absolutely gargantuan, whereas Ireland back then had a population of, less than 3 million people. Plus, for those people that are millennials or certainly a lot younger than me, this was all pre-internet. So I sat in a 1-bedroom apartment in Dublin, Blackrock County, Dublin, and started contacting travel agents and tour operators in Ireland, asking them, did they need a hotel? And I would give them heavily discounted rates. So I went from, as you mentioned, 0 to about 100 million in 10 years. Not in that 1-bedroom apartment, but that's how I started. I had my daughter Grace 10 months after I got married and set up the business, and had her on a Friday, and she was under my desk on the Monday morning. And they make noise babies, which I didn't know at the time. And then I had Patrick 16 months later. So I was very much a young mum juggling all sorts of funny things. And then I, to add more hassle to my life, I left my husband. And the kids were 3 and 4. So the combination of the starting a business that people wanted these discounted hotel rooms, that was a plus. Going to travel agents and tour operators in Ireland who wanted to book with me was a plus. Getting separated with 2 young children was a rocket up my backside that said, you better make this business work, love, otherwise you're stuffed. And so I worked even harder, brought in over the years brilliant people who were far cleverer than me to work on my team. I will admit, you know, I'm quite good at ideas and vision.
Okay then. So what does for you being part of the Women Warriors Network mean?
For me, the fact that I think you responded to an article that I had given to the Sunday Independent in Ireland about 2 weeks ago. And I spoke out openly about my catastrophic downfall from being pretty wealthy to hero to zero, as they say, and how, you know, how we read about people who are awfully successful all the time, and that's all great, but it makes a few of us feel a bit sick actually sometimes, you know, oh, their life is so great, why, you know, I work really hard and why isn't my life better? I know I'm generalizing, but you know, we do read an awful lot of happy stories about happy thin people who are beautiful as well, and they've got really nice husbands, and that makes us all a bit pukey really. So when you reached out, it just hit a note for me, women warriors, and I thought, you know what, I think I am a warrior. I am a warrior, and it's the support of friends, some of whom are on the Zoom event today. Thanks for joining. Some are like colleagues from Nida Hotel days, and we're still all great friends. So what I know is that by you spearheading this event, it reminded me how important sticking together and sharing the bad stories is nearly more important than sharing the really look at me, I'm fantastic stories, because it makes people feel more human. And actually, as a result of that article that I gave to Sunday Independent, I've had like 75,000 messages of support, response, likes, and just as many from men as from women. So it gave me that you connecting with me and me giving that interview gave me that kick that I needed to remind me that being in a network of like-minded people is vital to help keep us standing.
I love that. I'm absolutely all for the networking. I always have been, and I think I always will be, because I love people. But I totally agree with you. I think that support from each other and just bouncing ideas off each other, and it's not always, oh my gosh, I'm amazing, I've did this, I've did that. There are sometimes the kind of sad stories, but not in a way of please feel sorry for me, but in a way of come on, need to get out of this and do something. So no, so I'm really pleased, and it's great to have you here, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yes. So, but you also appear to remain quite grounded and clearly have a good heart. Thankfully, now you're on the up. And I noticed though, so you rediscovered your sense of purpose by being involved, helping wounded soldiers, which is amazing, and feeding the homeless. Does this help put your problems into perspective?
Yes, it does. Full stop, without question. But the most important thing for me was I've always been involved in helping ex-military veterans find second sustainable jobs. But what really made me make a very big effort about this was that I went to, I was sponsoring a table at the RAF Club in London for a very boutique charity called Walking for Wounded. Not Walking for Wounded, what am I saying? My brain's going, Flying for Freedom. God, it's either legs or arms. Anyway, Flying for Freedom. And that's a charity that helps veterans who have lost limbs to fly microlight aircraft. And so I was lucky enough to be at this dinner and helping sponsoring it. And it's quite extraordinary when you're in a room with maybe 80 people, and about 60 of them are very young amputees, and some of them are multiple amputees. And I was sitting next to an ex-Royal Marine who had lost a leg. His name was Adam. and we chatted away, and I asked him, you seem really, really bright and really clever, and he'd retrained in data analytics or something very fancy like that. And I said to him, you'll probably find it really, really easy to get another career. And with that, Adam turned around and he said, are you absolutely out of your mind? He said, I grew up on a housing estate somewhere up north, and most of my friends are either dead or in prison. And he said, I ran away to the Royal Marines as young as I possibly could, and it's my family and it's all I ever wanted. And he said, so you think that a lad like me will be able to go into some place and get a proper grown-up job with with a nice collar and suit on? He said, well, he actually swore at me, which I won't repeat because I don't know you all well enough yet. But he swore at me in a kind of a nice way. And he said, why don't you help me? And I said, all right, then I will. And with that, I started going to the KPMGs and the PwCs and all those big companies saying, there's this amazing military guy who yes, he used to just jump out of planes and do all sorts of defense things, but he's got the most incredible brain, and I think you should talk to him. And actually every one of those companies bar one all said, are you a charity? Because we don't pay to recruit people. And that really, really upset me, because I thought, you're going to, I'm not a recruitment consultant, but I'm going and trying to help. And actually, yeah, I think you should pay me for this service, because I'm going to find you the best people I can find you. And why wouldn't you pay for it? You think you're doing me a favor by recruiting a guy that's lost a leg. So it drove me crazy. And sometimes it's good to get angry.
But Sarah, saying that, just quickly going back onto that, when you said, his response to you was like, really, do you think I'm going to get a job in the big world? Well, I'm absolutely thrilled, delighted, because I received my first sponsor for the Women Warriors Network just yesterday. And the company is incredible, their background, and I will be highlighting them a lot, their Clarity & Co. and the Soap Co. So
yes. Yeah,
I'm going to read off of it quickly, so just so I get it right. But the purpose is to enhance the lives of people with disabilities or long-term health conditions, along with their friends and family, through meaningful performance and transitional employment. Now, I think to me that's key. This company is incredible because they have a huge purpose, and they're very ethically orientated also. So, I mean, I love hearing this, and I'm delighted. I'm very thankful to have this company on board. But as I said, you'll be hearing lots about it in the next couple of weeks. Receiving this, hate wearing a mask, hate it, but no, we have to, and it's not going away anytime soon. No. So I was delighted to receive this, not only with a cute little note, but this, with the adjustable straps. It is very light, and I feel I'm not being suffocated. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing and hearing more about the range. So